You ever stop to ask yourself, what traits do millionaires possess that make them really uncommon when it comes to building wealth? In today's video, we're going to be looking at just that. When you start looking at high net worth individuals, a majority of millionaires were not born with that money. It is money that is accumulated. It is really the millionaires next door. Now, these are the individuals that were disciplined savers, socked away money in 401k, put it in brokerage accounts, and accumulated a net worth over $1 million when they got ready to retire. Now, looking at Americans, they are saying it is $1.46 million when it comes to retirement. But how do you get there and how do you keep building that wealth once you do hit retirement? In today's video, we're going to be looking at 5 things that rich people do with their money to keep their wealth. Starting with our first one, wealthy people have a financial plan and they know how to stick to it. When you start looking at a bigger financial plan, the bigger picture of really what you want to accomplish in your life and what kind of legacy do you want to leave, when you look at millionaire clients, you have to make sure that you have a budget, that you know exactly how much is coming in, what expenses you do have to cover. That last bucket is going to be what you have for investing. Now, this, of course, could include insurance. It could be estate planning. It could be trust documentation. It could be leaving money to your friends, to your family, organizations. There are so many different things to keep in mind when you have a financial plan, and it needs to encompass everything. This could also look at taxes that are going to be owed, the employer benefits you might have, the investment plan. It sets you up with very specific and measurable goals when you're building out that financial plan, and also putting in time when you want to build them. If you're saying, I want to retire by the time I'm 50, how exactly are you going to do it? What does it look like? And what does retirement look to you? If it is being 100% debt free, having $2 million in the bank, great. How are you going to get there? What is the roadmap that is going to build it? If it means having 200K in the bank and living a free lifestyle without, just traveling all that you want, great. Whatever it is, you have to have a financial plan and you have to be able to stick to it. If you don't have a plan, trust me, you're not going to know the direction that you're headed in, which is the reason why we created a financial plan years ago. We have been following it and we are going to be well over $1 million when it comes to retirement. And of course, we are looking at early retirement, which is exactly what we want to do on the debt-free journey that we have right back here, is getting into early retirement. Number 2, not worried about investments and not managing the investments very often. Now, if you follow my channel for any amount of time, I invest in ETFs, which are exchange traded funds. I do not worry about individual stocks. Now, when it comes to stock trading, there is a very specific reason why I do not invest in individual stocks. There can be a ton of volatility in the company depending on what industry they're in, what sector they're in, legal ramifications, competition. There are so many things within the industry. If you're buying individual stocks, that can be absolutely detrimental. For me, I want to have the ability to put money into my investment accounts, which I have my 3 ETF portfolio, but putting money into that investment account and really set it and forget it. I'm not chasing the stock market. I'm not looking for the next Nvidia. I'm not chasing the next Apple. I look at a very long view of investing. And even when I look at my portfolio, we have had my portfolio for a multitude of years. And by the time that I'm retired, it is going to be 20 to 25 years that we have been putting money into this on a regular basis, which of course is going to put me over that millionaire status. Now, of course, a lot of people get rich quick scheme. It doesn't work. A lot of people go in there and really chasing the next hot stock tip. Most of the time, it doesn't work. When it comes to investing, it is about years, it is about time, it is about compounding interest, and it is about patience in the market. Like we've always said, you cannot time the market. It is more about time in the market, and that has rung true. And I have really proven it through the investment portfolio that I have. Putting money in there consistently, allowing it to grow, allowing it to compound has really been a game changer for me in my life. And of course, setting up generational wealth for my children, because of course we have investment accounts for them. Now, number 3, they overplan for retirement. This is another one. When you think of retirement and working full time, if you're living on a smaller income, if you're willing to make the sacrifice like we are, we have a majority of our income right now that is going into retirement, and that is going into a lot of retirement accounts, including the 401ks. We have HSAs, we have IRAs, we have brokerage accounts. We have a multitude of investment vehicles that are going to set us up perfectly for retirement. Now, when you start looking at the ultra wealthy and really the individuals that have made a regular salary that retire millionaires or multimillionaires, you're looking at 10, 15, 20, 25% of your income being invested off the bat. Now think about it big picture and take a moment Think about your life and think about your investing journey up to this point. If you haven't been putting anything in investment, that is why the balances are where they are today. But when you start looking at the chances of putting 10, 15, 20% into an investment account, into a retirement account, do you know how fast that will grow? When you start putting in the compounding interest, especially 10, 20, 30 years, the longer that you put money in there, the more money that you put in there, especially if you are starting later in life. You're going to have to build up those balances if you want to retire with the life that you want. And of course, this is very, very dependent on the life you want during retirement. If you're looking at retirement and you have ultra low expenses, you're not really covering everything except the day to day, chances are you might not need $1 million, $2 million, $3 million in a retirement account. But if you want to travel, if you want to do a lot of things that a lot of people do during retirement, you're going to have the planning. And of course, guys, with YouTube, this is my source of income. This is my secondary side hustle. So if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And looking at number 4, finding ways to reduce the taxes. Now, this is something that I have personally done over the last 3 to 5 years, looking for tax breaks, looking for incentives, looking for any method that we can to decrease our taxes now and also during retirement. We have systematically planned with our taxes and how we're going to do it. And the way that we did that was looking at our 401k plans, looking at brokerage accounts, is we put money into Roth accounts. Now, Roth accounts, of course, are post-paid tax. So we are paying taxes on those Roth accounts after we make the contributions, meaning the money that we put in there is completely tax-free. Now, there is a small percentage that we are putting into traditional, and the methodology or the thought behind it from what we did from our financial planning is the majority of that Roth money is going to be untouched. That money is going to be left for generational wealth because, again, looking at the debt-free journey, trying to be the debt-free lifestyle, by the time I hit the age of 50, I am planning to pay off our house in entirety, which means at the age of 50, we will have zero debt at all, meaning that the expenses, the cash flow is going to be there, but the expenses will be ultra low other than the monthly utilities. Everything else will be paid for. Now, of course, this is going to make a big difference when it comes to taxes because when we come to retirement, we're going to be at the point where we can take money out of those traditional IRAs that we actually have from an older employer, utilizing that money since it's been compounding a multitude of years. When we're required to take the RMDs out of there, it is still going to keep us in a very low tax bracket. And if by chance we do need any additional funds, the Roth money is going to be there in its entirety. Now, of course, taxes can change, time can change, a lot of things can change. But as of right now, that is what we have planned, in addition to HSA contributions. If you're looking at HSAs, they are a triple tax advantage account. If you're not using them, if you're not maxing them out, I really, really highly advise you to start doing exactly that. When you start having a family, when you start having kids, especially when you get to retirement and you're at the age where you need a lot more medical, you have a lot more maybe prescriptions, a lot more as time goes on, it will increase with the expenses that you're gonna have for medical expenses, which of course we are gonna cover in its entirety with our HSA. And the final one, incorporating charitable gifts. Now, I know this is a huge one when it comes to Dave Ramsey, is when you are completely debt-free, it feels good to give. It feels good to help out. It feels good to go and help at charities, not even giving the thought of just giving money, but giving the ability and having the ability to give back, giving time. Not only are there a number of tax advantages if you are doing donations, but also being able to give your time. When you start getting into retirement, time is really your best friend because, of course, there is a set day for all of us when, unfortunately, we are going to expire, but there's going to be a point where you do want to spend more time. It might be more time with grandchildren. It might be volunteering at school, going to see everything, really creating a life for yourself when you get to retirement that you don't have to worry about a lot, that you can kind of do whatever you want to. And of course, getting those taxes down, making sure you have a financial plan, making sure you're saving to retirement. And of course, the sooner and the earlier that you can get into those retirement planning is going to be the absolute game changer. That is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.